Wow, more people come in. Thank you guys for all being here tonight. This is a good crowd for us, and we're glad to have you here with us this week at our Lee County Republican Club. As most of you who are regular members know here, I'm Mike Fellows, and I am a conservative Republican. I very much appreciate what Justice Parker just said, and he may have stepped out of here, but he's exactly right. As a conservative Republican, I understand that our rights come from God, and that we delegate a few of those rights to the government through the Constitution, and that's all the legitimate power they have. I'm from Auburn. I graduated from high school at Auburn High School. I went to Auburn University and graduated there, then went on to the university in Tuscaloosa for law school. After that, I went to Washington, D.C. for a little while to fight for conservative values there. And about 12 years ago, I moved back here to my home, and where I met my lovely wife, Carrie, who is filming me right now. But if you could see her, you'd know that she is lovely. I have 4 kids, Trinity, Gabby, Solomon, and Eva. And they are the highlight of my day when I come home and they come right into my arms and say, "Daddy." That's one of the best feelings in the world. I practice law actually in Opelika. I practice with Judge Jim Gullidge and Jeff Tickle. I've been there for several years and have learned a lot there. And for each of the past 6 years, I have served as a referee with Judge Richard Lane. He's appointed me for the last 6 years to hear some of those cases Judge Walker was talking about. I hear mostly juvenile cases and have done that on a weekly basis for 6 years. And I really want to thank Judge Lane for giving me that opportunity, because, to be honest with you, I never really thought, even while a lawyer, that I would want to be judge one day. But I learned by practicing in his court that being judge can also be a ministry. And that kind of changed my whole outlook on being a judge, and that's why I'm running to be the family court judge, because that particular court is a court where you can really serve people and really help children and change their future. I love using the skills I've developed through my bench experience to help children, to protect them, to guide them, to lead them down the right path in life. Many of them are in a really bad situation in their home lives, and nobody's ever told them. Nobody's ever told them what way they should go and what's right and what's wrong. And sometimes the first time anybody's ever told them that is when they come before us in family court. And if somebody's not there when they come, then we've missed out on a real opportunity. You see, family court is really about children. As Judge Walker said, most of the things that go through family court, even divorce, is more often than not about children. And it's very important that we have somebody there who will protect those children when they come through. You know, one of the things about family court is it affects everybody. You know, all the children that come through court, they're sitting in class with your kids. Their families live down the street from you. Maybe you know a family that never thought they would darken the doors of family court, but they found themselves there. And just in doing so, you know, I don't think there's probably a person in this room that family court hadn't affected them in some way. Now, maybe not directly in your family, but it has affected you, and you may not even know it. Trooper Taylor said the other day, and I thought this was a great quote, he said that we either train our children to walk while they're children, or they'll be crawling through our windows as adults. You know, that's funny, but it's a sad truth. Because if we don't do something with them while they're children, then there are going to be great consequences later on in life, and family court has the opportunity to do that. We can't allow family court to be merely an adjudication factory where we just put out court orders. If we do so, we're really missing an opportunity, because everybody that darkens the door of family court, they're hurting, and they need guidance and they need help. And if we just treat it as a place to rule and make a court order, then we're missing out on one of the greatest opportunities to change Lee County for the future. So The question is, if you're going to entrust me with being your family court judge, you need to know what Judge Lane knew 6 years ago when he appointed me to be a referee. You need to know what I believe in. And I believe in faith, family, freedom, and fairness. Now, faith is about, is really in many ways how you can be fair as a court judge. It's the only means that we can look across a room like this or any room and see all of us as equals. And the truth is, in order to be a good judge, you have to be able to look at the people in front of you and understand that they are at least as important as you are, if not more important than you are. So that faith and the humility that comes along with it is very important to a family court judge. Secondly, faith is very important to the people that come through that court. The truth is that we can put band-aids on some of these situations, but for so many of the families and children that come through, the way they get over the obstacles in their lives is through their faith. And we should never, ever count out the power of God in someone's life. Family. I believe family is more important than anything else in our lives other than faith. It's where we learn to be good. And if we learn to be good, we have learned to be free. So we cannot discount the impact of family in our lives, and we, in a family court, must protect family. We must understand that it can't be an arm of the divorce industry. It can't be a delinquency mill. It's got to be about protecting families and protecting children. Freedom. You know, freedom is really based upon family in many ways, because family is the place that we learn to be free and we learn to be good. But it's also dependent upon conservative judges, as Justice Parker said. If a judge doesn't understand that they are limited to the authority given to them by the Constitution, then that judge is a threat to everyone's freedom. Fairness. We got to treat everybody fair. I don't care what color you are, how much money you got, anything. Whether you're a mother or father, you'll be judged by your actions. And finally, we must have someone with conservative principles. I think if you ask anybody that's in this club about what candidates are in this race that have stood for freedom principles and conservative principles long before they were in a campaign, I think you'll find out a lot about this race. So if you want someone who is a conservative Republican and who stands for faith, family, freedom, and fairness, I ask you to stand with me on June 1st. Thank you very much.